A millionaire pulled up to his secluded vacation home in the Vermont countryside, ready for some much-needed rest. But when he opened the door, he found a family living there, a widow with 2 young kids who'd squatted in the abandoned place. Furious, he threatened to call the cops, but what he did in the minutes that followed changed his life forever. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you don't miss any stories. Robert parked his car in front of the country house and frowned. The wooden gate was painted blue. He'd never painted that gate. He got out slowly, hand on his chest by instinct, remembering the doctor's orders. No stress, no exertion. 2 months of absolute rest. The garden looked different. Flowers in bright colors where there used to be just weeds. The grass was mowed, the windows clean, reflecting the afternoon sun. What the heck? Robert pushed the gate. The hinge didn't creak. Someone had oiled it. Voices came from inside the house. Kids' voices. Robert's heart sped up. He breathed deep, counting to 3, like the cardiologist taught him. He climbed the porch steps and stopped at the open door. A little girl ran across the living room with a doll in her hand. A baby crawled on a rug Robert had never seen. And on the couch, his couch, a young woman cradled a basket of folded laundry. The woman looked up and froze. "Who are you?" The words came out of Robert's mouth before he could think. Rose dropped the basket, clothes scattered on the floor. I can explain." "Explain?" Robert stepped into the room, hands shaking. "Explain what you're doing in my house." The girl ran and hid behind her mom. The baby started crying. "Please, sir." Rose picked up her son, her voice breaking. "I didn't have anywhere to go. The house was abandoned. I thought you could just break in?" Robert felt the pressure rising in his head. He breathed deep again. "This is trespassing. I'm calling the police." "No." Rose stepped forward, eyes wide. "Please, give me a few days. Just a few days to find another place. My husband died. I lost my job. The rent was late. I got evicted." The words tumbled out, desperate. The girl started crying with her brother. Robert ran a hand over his face. This was exactly the kind of stress the doctor forbade. "Mommy!" The girl tugged Rose's skirt. "Are we going to live on the street again?" "Again?" The word echoed in Robert's mind. "Listen." He tried to keep his voice steady. "You can't stay here. This is my house. I came here to recover. I need peace." "I know, sir. I understand." Rose wiped tears with the back of her hand. "Give me 15 days, 2 weeks. I promise I'll leave without trouble." Robert looked around. The house was spotless. It smelled clean, like homemade food, fresh flowers in a vase on the table. Through the window, he saw the backyard. There was a vegetable garden, in soil he'd always thought was too dry for anything. 10 days, he said finally. "But I stay too. It's my house." "Thank you, sir. Thank you so much." Rose hugged her kids. "We won't bother you. You can have the master bedroom. Me and the kids sleep in the back room." "Robert," he sighed. "My name's Robert. Rose. And these are Mary and Peter." An awkward silence hung in the air. Robert didn't know what to do now. Go to his room? Sit in the living room with this strange family? The decision was made when his phone rang. "Dr. Henry, you at the house yet?" The doctor's cheerful voice echoed. "Remember the rules? No work, no stress, light eating, total rest. Henry, there's a problem." "What kind of problem? Your blood pressure spike?" Robert glanced at Rose, who held her son on her hip while wiping Mary's tears. There's people living in my house." "People? What people?" "A woman with 2 kids. She squatted while the place was empty." Silence on the other end. "Then, you're calling the cops?" Robert thought of the girl asking if they'd live on the street again. "No. I gave her time to leave." "How long?" 10 days. "Robert," the doctor sighed. "You need absolute peace. No chaos, no strangers." "I know, but she'll stay quiet in her corner. Won't bother me." Right after hanging up, the front door burst open. "Rose, I brought the tomatoes you asked for." An old man with white hair entered carrying a bag, stopping short when he saw Robert. "Whoa, Mr. Martin," the owner of the village general store, widened his eyes. "Buddy, you must be Robert." He dropped the bag and extended his hand enthusiastically. "Pleasure, pleasure. Rose talked so much about you." Robert blinked, confused. "Talked about? What did she talk about?" "How you were coming back. How you'd finally meet." Mr. Martin gave a conspiratorial elbow nudge. Long-distance relationships tough, huh? But now you're here. What a sight, Mr. Martin. Rose turned red. It's not like that. I never said. Oh, come on, no need to be shy, girl. The old man winked at Robert. Nice couple, and the kids already have a stepdad. Wonderful. Robert opened his mouth, but no sound came out. I'm not, he tried. We're not, Mr. Martin. Please. Rose was mortified. You got it all wrong. Got it? The old man scratched his head. But you said you were waiting for the house owner to return, that he was a good man. To leave? Rose almost shouted. I'm waiting to leave. Mr. Martin's smile faded slowly. He looked from Rose to Robert, to the kids, and back to Robert. Ah. An awkward silence. Ah, I see. The tension in the room grew thick. Mr. Martin picked up the tomato bag, placed it carefully on the table. Well, he cleared his throat. I'll be going then. Anything, Rose, just holler. He left, closing the door softly. Robert ran a hand through his hair. This was turning into a bigger mess than he imagined. Look, he started. I'll make dinner. Rose interrupted, voice shaky. You must be hungry from the drive, Robert. No need. Yes, there is. It's the least I can do. She hurried to the kitchen, kids trailing her. Robert was left alone in the living room. His living room, but it didn't feel like his anymore. He sat on the couch, which wasn't exactly his anymore either, and leaned his head back. 10 days. He just had to endure 10 days. The smell of homemade food started wafting from the kitchen. Robert's stomach growled. He couldn't remember the last time he'd eaten something not from a restaurant or delivery. Mary peeked from the kitchen door, still holding her doll, looking at him curiously. Are you really mad? She asked. Robert didn't know how to answer. The girl tilted her head. My mum cries when you yell. And before Robert could say anything, she ran back to the kitchen. Robert closed his eyes. 10 days. Just 10 days. What could happen in 10 days? Robert woke to the smell of fresh coffee. He glanced at the clock, 6 in the morning. He rubbed his face and got out of bed, still in his clothes from yesterday. The mattress was comfortable, more comfortable than he remembered. Someone had changed the sheets. When he reached the kitchen, Rose was already there making breakfast. She wore a floral apron, hair in a messy bun. Good morning, she said without looking at him. Coffee's ready. I left bread in the toaster. Thanks. Robert sat at the table, watching her move efficiently around the kitchen. Mary sat on the living room floor drawing. Peter still slept. You always up this early? He asked. Got to make the most of it while they sleep. Rose poured coffee into a mug and set it in front of him. It's the only quiet time. Robert took a sip. It was perfect, strong, hot, just how he liked it. How'd you know? Know what? That I like my coffee this strong. Rose finally looked at him. Found the coffee grounds in the cabinet. Figured you liked that kind. She turned back to washing dishes. Robert ate in silence, feeling odd. How long had it been since someone made him breakfast? Years. Many years. His phone buzzed on the table. Dr. Henry, how was the first night? Weird. Any symptoms? Dizziness? Chest pain? Shortness of breath? No, none of that. Great. Remember, I'm coming by this afternoon to check on you? Robert had forgotten. Doctor. Henry. No need. I'm fine. Protocol, buddy. You had a serious heart attack 3 weeks ago. I'll be there. He hung up before Robert could protest. Rose turned, drying her hands on the apron. Doctor's coming this afternoon. I'll tidy up, make some tea in case he wants. You don't have to. I know I don't. She cut him off, voice firm. But while I'm here, I'll do my part. Take care of the house, cook, clean. That's the deal. I didn't ask for this, I know, but it's right. Robert was about to reply when Mary ran to him, holding out a paper. Look, I drew you. In the drawing, a giant man with a mad face stood next to a house. Rose and the kids were tiny dots in the corner. Do I look that mad? Robert asked. Mary nodded with conviction. Really mad. Rose took the girl's hand. Mary, let Robert have his coffee in peace. No, it's fine. Robert looked at the drawing again. You draw well. Mary's eyes lit up. Really? Really. The girl skipped away, happy. Rose sighed. Sorry, she's full of energy. No need to apologize. An odd silence settled between them. Robert finished his coffee and stood. Gonna take a walk in the backyard. Watch the sun. It's strong. Robert was about to say he didn't need a babysitter, but held back. He went out the back door. The backyard was transformed. The garden had tomatoes, lettuce, chives, peppers, chickens pecked in an improvised coop. There was even a flower bed by the fence. She did all this in how long? He muttered. 3 months. Robert turned. Mr. Martin was at the fence, smiling. She's a hard worker, that Rose. Showed up here in winter with the kids freezing, hadn't eaten all day. I offered help, said she didn't want charity. The old man scratched his beard. So I suggested she look after your place. Said the owner hadn't been around in years, the house was falling apart. She agreed, and look what she did. Robert eyed the garden again. She didn't know I was coming back. Nobody did, son. You vanished off the map. The whole village thinks you abandoned the house, that you'd never return. I didn't abandon it. I was just busy making money in the city. I know, the old man chuckled. But money doesn't plant tomatoes, does it? He waved and walked off, leaving Robert with his thoughts. That afternoon, Dr. Henry arrived in an old jeep, kicking up dust on the road. He got out carrying a medical bag and a big smile. So this is where you're holing up for 2 months? I'm not holing up. Yes, you are. Henry walked into the house, looking around. Dang, it's spotless. You clean it all? No, Rose did. The squatter. She's got a name. Henry raised his eyebrows. Interesting. Before Robert could respond, Rose came from the kitchen with a tray tea, homemade cookies, folded napkins. Afternoon, doctor. Brought a snack. Thanks, Miss Rose. Call me Rose. She set the tray on the table and left discreetly. Henry waited till she was down the hall. She's pretty. Henry. What? Just stating a fact. The doctor opened his bag. All right, shirt off. Gotta check your pressure. Robert complied. Henry worked quietly, checking pressure, heartbeat, breathing. Made notes in his pad. All stable. You behaving? Yes. No work, no calling the office. No work, no stress. Robert hesitated. Henry noticed. What happened? Nothing. It's just weird sharing the house with a pretty woman and 2 kids. Henry grinned. I bet, but it could be good for you. Company, conversation. How long you been living alone? 5 years. 6. See? Loneliness ain't good for the heart, Robert. And I don't mean just the physical one. Don't start with your holistic theories. Not theories, scientific facts. Henry packed his gear. You need human connection, relationships, laughter. You turned into a robot in New York. Work, work, work. Look where it got you. I know. Do you? The doctor snapped his bag shut. Because last time we talked, you said you'd head back to the office once recovered. And I will. Henry pointed to the window, where Rose hung laundry on the line while Mary played with a cat. Or are you starting to see there might be another way to live? Robert didn't answer. Henry sighed. I'll be back next week. Try to really relax, okay? Let life happen a bit. After the doctor left, Robert sat on the porch watching the backyard. Peter had woken and was crawling on the grass under Rose's watchful eye. Mary chased the cat, laughing. Robert, she yelled, come play with us. I'm good here. Thanks. Oh, party pooper, the girl pouted. Rose picked up her son and came to the porch. She didn't mean to bother. She didn't. You okay? Did the doctor say something? I'm fine. All normal. Rose nodded but didn't leave. Stood there rocking Peter on her hip. Can I ask something? Sure. Why haven't you come here in so long? This house is beautiful. The place is so peaceful. Robert looked at the distant hills. Work. Always work. I thought I didn't have time. And now? Now I have no choice. Rose was quiet for a moment. Sometimes we need to lose the choice to make the right one. She went back to the yard before Robert could reply. That night, Robert couldn't sleep. He lay listening to the house sounds. Rose humming softly to put Peter to bed. The creak of wood, wind in the trees outside. At 2 a.m., he got up for water. The kitchen light was on. Rose sat at the table, surrounded by paper and pen, doing math. Can't sleep? He asked. She jumped, startled. Sorry, thought you were asleep. You okay? What are you doing? Rose gathered the papers quickly. Nothing, just bills. Robert saw numbers, crossed out amounts, tight calculations. She was hunting for a place to live, trying to fit rent into a tiny budget. "Rose, I'll find something," she said fast. "Still have 8 days, I'll manage." But her voice shook, and Robert saw she wasn't sure. "Good night, Robert." She turned off the light and left, leaving the papers on the table. Robert stood alone in the dark kitchen, staring at those impossible numbers, and for the first time in years, his chest tightened, but not from his sick heart. Robert woke to a scream, jumped out of bed, heart racing, ran to the hallway, and found Rose on the bathroom floor, holding her ankle. "What happened?" "Slipped," she groaned, face pale. "Peter spilled water on the floor last night. I forgot to dry it. Can you stand?" "I think so." She tried to put weight on it and nearly fell again. Robert caught her arm. "Wait, I'll help." He carried her to the couch. She was lighter than he expected. He fetched ice from the kitchen. When he returned, Mary was beside her mum, crying. "Is Mummy gonna be okay?" "She will." Robert wrapped the ice in a towel and placed it on Rose's ankle. "It's just a sprain. Needs rest." Rose closed her eyes, breathing deep. "I can't stay down. Gotta take care of the kids, the house." "I'll handle it." She opened her eyes. "What?" "I'll handle today, tomorrow if needed." Robert stood. "You stay put, doctor's orders." "You're not a doctor. I'm a doctor's patient. Same thing." For the first time, Robert saw Rose smile genuinely, a small smile, but real. "Okay. Thanks." The next hours were total chaos. Peter cried for his mom. Mary spilled juice on the rug. Robert burned the rice. When he tried bathing the baby, he ended up wetter than the kid. "How do you do this every day?" he asked Rose, exhausted, holding a squirming Peter. "It practice." She laughed at his face. "Lots of practice. This ain't human. It's mission impossible." Mary came into the room with the cat in her arms. "Uncle Bob, Whiskers is hungry." "Uncle Bob?" Robert blinked. "That's you," Mary said like it was obvious. "Robert's too long. Uncle Bob's better." Rose tried hiding her laugh. Robert sighed. "Fine, Uncle Bob. Where's the cat food?" "I don't know." "Great." He spent the morning hunting cat food, changing diapers, cleaning juice, calming Peter. When he finally sat on the couch at noon, he was wrecked. "I respect you," he told Rose. "A lot. This is harder than closing million-dollar deals." Rose laughed. "Thanks, I think." A car pulled up outside. Mr. Martin got out carrying bags. Heard there was an accident. Brought groceries. He walked in without knocking. Looked at Rose on the couch, Robert holding Peter, Mary drawing on the floor. What a lovely family scene. Mr. Martin Rose started. "Hush, hush," came to help. The old man went to the kitchen and unpacked. Brought chicken, veggies, good rice, not that rock-hard stuff you got. Gonna make a proper lunch. Robert looked at Rose, who shrugged. He's like that. No point arguing. Half an hour later, the kitchen filled with delicious smells. Mr. Martin hummed while cooking, telling village stories nobody asked for. And that's when Mrs. Carmen found out her husband wasn't on a business trip, but hiding at his sister's to avoid painting the fence. He laughed hard. 3 days of peace he had. 3 days. Mary giggled along. Peter clapped without understanding. Even Rose smiled. Robert found himself smiling too. When lunch was ready, Mr. Martin insisted they all eat together at the table. "Family eats together," he declared. "That's the rule." "We're not family," Robert said. "Not yet." Mr. Martin winked. "But who knows?" Mr. Martin Rose blushed. The old man chuckled and served everyone. The chicken was perfect, rice fluffy, veggies seasoned just right. "Delicious," Robert admitted. "Of course, learned from my late wife. What a woman, cooked like no one else." Mr. Martin got nostalgic for a moment. 10 years she's been gone, but I still smell her perfume sometimes. "Sorry," Rose said softly. "Ah, no need. Had 50 happy years with her. Some folks don't get even 5. He looked at Rose. "Your husband, how long's it been?" "A year come December. How'd it happen, if you don't mind?" Rose went quiet. Mary stopped eating. Robert noticed. "Work accident," Rose finally said. "He worked construction. A beam fell. It was quick. The kids were little. Peter was 6 months. Mary 3. Rose looked at her children. It was hard, really hard. I tried keeping up rent, but lost my job. The landlord was patient for months, but then no more. And you ended up here? Mr. Martin finished. Yes. Sorry, Robert. I know it was wrong, but I was desperate. Robert pushed food around his plate. You don't need to apologize again. Yes, I do. You've been generous giving me this time. Generous? Mr. Martin snorted. Generous would be letting her stay. Mr. Martin Rose protested. That's not how it works. Why not? House is huge, plenty of room, and she takes care of everything. Cooks, cleans, gardens. Robert don't have to lift a finger. 'Cause it's not her house, Robert said. It's mine. So what? Empty house is useless. House needs life, people, food on the table, laughter in the walls. The old man banged the table. You got that now? Gonna throw it away? It's not that simple. It is. You adults complicate it. Mr. Martin stood. Well, said my piece. Leaving before I say too much, he walked out, slamming the door. Silence weighed heavy at the table. Sorry, Rose murmured. He had no right to talk like that. No need to apologize for him. Mary looked between them. Are we really leaving, Mummy? Yes, sweetie, in a few days. But I like it here. And Whiskers, and the garden. We take Whiskers and make another garden. It won't be the same. The girl started crying. I don't want to go. She ran to her room. Peter, startled, cried too. Rose tried standing and winced in pain. Stay there. Robert picked up Peter. I'll go. He went to the kids' room. Mary lay on the bed, hugging her doll, sobbing. Robert sat on the mattress edge, still holding Peter, who calmed down. Mary, she didn't answer. Look at me. The girl turned her tear-streaked face. I know you like it here, and I get it. It's a nice, quiet place. So why do we have to go? Robert didn't know what to say. Why, really? Because they were squatters. Because he'd come for peace and quiet. But the house had never been so alive. It's complicated. Adults always say that when they don't want to explain. Mary wiped her nose. You don't like us? It's not that. Then what is it? Robert looked at Peter, asleep in his arms, at Mary with her big sad eyes, at the worn old doll she clutched. I don't know, he admitted. It was true. That night, after everyone slept, Robert went to the porch. Stars shone in the pollution-free sky. The breeze carried scents of earth and flowers. He thought of New York, the empty apartment, the cold office, endless meetings, hellish traffic. Thought of the heart attack, chest pain, fear, hospital loneliness. Thought of Rose sleeping in the back room with the kids, Mary calling him Uncle Bob, Peter drooling on his shoulder, Mr. Martin and his stories, homemade food, hot breakfast, the life that invaded his house with this family. I don't know, he repeated to the stars, but something in his chest, and this time not the sick heart, started stirring. Robert woke to the smell of pancakes. He went downstairs and found Rose limping between stove and table, ankle still bandaged. You should be resting. I'm better. She flipped a pancake skillfully. And you can't live on burned rice. I thought it turned out okay. Rose laughed. It was charred. Robert sat at the table and watched her work. 5 days had passed. 5 left for Rose to find a place, but she hadn't yet. He knew because he saw the papers on the table every night. Ads circled, numbers that never added up, phones that didn't answer. Rose, banana pancakes. She set a plate before him. Try it, he ate. Delicious. Of course. I need to talk to you about Mummy. Uncle Bob. Mary ran in. Whiskers climbed the tree and won't come down. Robert sighed. Cats always come down alone. But he's meowing. He's scared. Rose looked out the window. The cat was on a high branch, meowing pitifully. I'll go. Robert stood. With your heart? No way. Rose grabbed a chair. With your ankle? You're crazy? They stared each other down. Mary watched. I'm lighter, Rose argued. I'm taller, easier reach. You had a heart attack a month ago, and you can barely walk. Guys, Mary stomped. While you argue, Whiskers suffers. Robert huffed. Fine, but I'll go slow, and you hold the chair. 10 minutes later, he was on the branch, reaching for the cat that scratched his hands. Darn animal, he grumbled, grabbing Whiskers by the scruff. Stop squirming. Careful, Rose yelled from below. Robert climbed down with the cat under his arm. When he hit ground, he was out of breath. You okay? Your face is red. Rose put her hand on his chest. Your heart's racing. I'm fine. He breathed deep. Just out of shape. You need rest. I do. But he didn't move. Stood there with Rose's hand still on his chest, feeling her warmth through his shirt. Rose realized and pulled away quick. Sorry, it's okay. An odd silence between them. Mary took the cat and ran off, oblivious. Robert Rose started. A car stopped out front. Not Dr. Henry's old Jeep, a sleek black Mercedes. A woman got out. Impeccable suit, high heels, straight hair perfect. Sunglasses not hiding her disdain as she looked around. So this is where you're hiding. She removed the glasses. It's pathetic, Robert. Robert's stomach sank. Patricia, who's she? Rose whispered. My ex-business partner. Patricia strode to them, heels sinking in the dirt. I came in person because you won't answer the phone. We need to talk. Nothing to talk about. Yes, there is. About the company, your shares, the fact you're throwing it all away to play farmer. She glanced at Rose with barely hidden scorn. Excuse us, private matters. Rose stepped back. I'll check on the kids. Rose. Robert called, but she was already inside. Patricia smiled. Cute. New girlfriend? Different from your usual type. She's not my girlfriend, and it's none of your business. Everything about you is my business. We're partners, Robert. Or did you forget? She crossed her arms. The company's growing. We have international expansion offers. Investors lining up. And you vanished, left it all on me. You always wanted full control. Now you have it. I don't want control. I want my partner back, the ambitious, focused, winning Robert I knew. She stepped closer. Not this hermit you've become. I almost died, Patricia. I know. It was awful. But you recovered. You're alive. You're fine. She pointed at the house. And wasting your life here. Doing what? Playing house with a squatter and kids that aren't yours. Watch what you say. Or what? You'll kick me out? Sue me? Patricia laughed. Wake up, Robert. This fantasy ends. And when it does, you'll see you threw away what we built. We didn't build anything. I did. You just invested money. And you're flushing that money down the drain. Her voice sharpened. I have buyers interested. If you don't come back, I'll sell my share and leave you behind. Then sell. Patricia blinked, surprised. What? Sell your share? Sell it all? I don't care anymore. You crazy? It's the company of your life. It was. Robert looked at the house where Mary pressed her face to the window, waving. Not anymore. Patricia followed his gaze. Her expression hardened. Because of her, the squatter. Not because of anyone. Because of me. You're sick, confused. The heart attack messed with your head. For the first time in years, my head's clear. Patricia put her glasses back on. You'll regret this. Maybe, but it'll be my regret. She got in the car and sped off, kicking up dust. Robert stood watching till the Mercedes vanished down the road. When he went inside, Rose was in the kitchen, pretending to wash already clean dishes. Everything okay? She asked without looking. Yes. She seemed important. Was the past. Rose finally faced him. Robert, I heard part of the conversation, didn't mean to. Window was open. She dried her hands on a towel. You can't throw it all away. Your company, your work, because of this. Because of what? Of me, the kids, this temporary situation. She stepped closer. Look, I know you're confused. The heart attack, recovery, people in your house, but your life's in New York, your business, your future. What if I don't want that future anymore? Don't say that. You just need time. Rose, I found a place. She cut in. A small apartment, 2 hours from here. Rent fits if I get a part-time job. The landlord takes kids and even cats. Robert felt something crumble in his chest. When? Can move next week, before the deadline. You don't have to. I do. Her voice was steady, but eyes glistened. You've been so kind, more than I deserved. But it's time for me and for you. She left the kitchen before he could reply. That night, Mr. Martin showed up with a bottle of whiskey. Heard you had fancy company today. News travels fast. In the village, everything does. The old man sat on the porch beside Robert. Wanna talk? Nothing to talk about. Bull. You look like you lost your mind and don't know if you want it back. Mr. Martin opened the bottle and offered, "Drink, good for the soul." Doctor forbade it. Doctor ain't here. Robert took the bottle and sipped. It burned, but good burn. "Rose is leaving," he said. "I know." "How you know?" "She told me, asked me to watch the cat if the new place falls through." Mr. Martin took the bottle back. "You letting her go?" "It's not about letting. It's her life." "And yours? What do you want?" Robert stared at the stars. "Don't know anymore." Bull again. "You know, just scared to admit." "Admit what?" "That you fell for her." The words hung. Robert opened his mouth to deny. Couldn't. "It's crazy," he finally said. "Known her a week. So what? Fell for my wife in 3 days. Married a month later, 50 years together." Mr. Martin smiled. "Love don't have a schedule, boy. She's a widow, 2 kids, no job, no money, and I'm me. You're what? Rich, successful." The old man laughed. "That stuff don't matter. You think she cares about your money? I don't know. I do. She don't. If she did, she'd have thrown herself at you when she learned who you are. But she didn't. She's leaving, giving you peace." Mr. Martin got serious. "Question ain't what she wants, it's what you want." Robert took another sip. "I want her to stay. Then tell her." "I can't. It'd be pressure. Or it'd make her happy. Ever think that?" Inside, Peter started crying. Robert heard Rose's steps, her soft voice soothing the baby, a lullaby in English, melodic and sad. 5 days, he murmured. "Still have 5 days. For what? To decide or to get brave?" Robert didn't answer. Mr. Martin stood, leaving the bottle. "Don't waste it, boy. You almost died. Got a second chance. Don't throw it away." He left, leaving Robert with his thoughts and the lullaby drifting from the window. Robert woke with a decision. Today he'd talk to Rose, tell her well. He didn't know exactly what yet, but he'd speak. He went downstairs to an empty table, no coffee, no pancakes, no Rose. Rose? Silence. He went to the back room, door ajar. Rose sat on the bed, surrounded by open suitcases, folding clothes mechanically. Kids played on the floor. "You're packing?" She turned, eyes red. "Leaving tomorrow. Thought I'd get a head start. Tomorrow, but 4 days left." "I know, but got the job starting early, and sooner I go, better for everyone." Robert entered the room. "Better how?" "Robert, please, don't make this harder." "Harder for who?" Rose stopped folding. "For me." Rose, Uncle Bob. Mary appeared between them, holding her doll. "We really going?" "Yes, honey." Rose stroked her daughter's hair. "To a new place. You'll like it. But I like here." "I know." The girl shuffled out. Rose resumed packing, avoiding Robert's eyes. "You don't have to go." "I do." "Why?" She finally stopped and faced him. "Because I'm getting used to it, and I can't. This isn't mine, isn't real. Just a moment, a pause, but my life isn't here. What if it could be? It can't." Her voice firm. "You have your life, I have mine. They don't mix." "Who says?" "Reality." Rose snapped a suitcase shut. "Look, I thank you truly, but I can't owe. Can't live on handouts. Need to manage alone. For my kids. This wouldn't be handouts. Would be what, Robert?" She turned sharply. "Say it. What would it be?" He opened his mouth, closed it. Words wouldn't come. Rose sighed. "That's what I thought. You don't know either." She picked up Peter and left the room, leaving Robert alone with half-packed suitcases. Dr. Henry arrived at noon, finding Robert on the porch looking like death. "Someone die?" "She's leaving tomorrow." "Ah." The doctor sat beside him. "And you're letting her?" "She wants to go." "You ask if she wants to stay?" "Sort of." "What do you mean, sort of?" "Either you asked or you didn't." Robert rubbed his face. "I tried, but couldn't." Wrong words came out. "What words you trying to say?" Silence. Henry sighed. "Robert, you're one of the smartest guys I know. Closes million-dollar deals, convinces investors, leads teams, but in front of a woman you like, you turn teen. It ain't that simple." "It is." "You like her?" "Yes." "Want her to stay?" "Yes." "Then say that." Those words, Rose, I like you. I want you to stay. Henry slapped his thigh. Done. What if she says no? What if she says yes? Robert didn't answer. The doctor shook his head. I'll check you, and your courage too, 'cause I think it's sicker than your heart. After the exam, all normal, pressure stable, heart beating good. Henry left with one last bit. You almost died, Robert. Learn something from it or not. Afternoon, Rose took the kids to say bye to neighbors. Robert stayed alone in the house, pacing. He entered the back room. Suitcases closed, ready. Just a small backpack open on the bed. Inside, he saw a notebook. Shouldn't look. Knew he shouldn't, but did. It was a journal, pages full of Rose's round handwriting. He flipped, reading random bits. Kids hungry again. Don't know what to do. Money's gone. Found this house today. Abandoned. Can I just for a few days? Mary's happy here. Space to play. Peter's healthier, but no, it won't last. Then a recent entry. Robert arrived today. Thought my world would end, but he was kind. Didn't call cops, gave time. Why's he so kind? Further on, starting to like him. Dangerous, very dangerous. Can't get attached. Can't let kids get attached. Need to leave before it hurts too much. And the last from yesterday. Think I'm falling for him. Absurd, crazy. Poor widow with 2 kids, squatter in his house. He deserves better. Someone not a burden. Need to go before I do something stupid. Before confessing what I can't. Robert closed the notebook, hands shaking. You reading my journal? He turned. Rose in the doorway, face pale. Rose, you had no right. She stormed in and snatched it. This is private. Sorry, I shouldn't. But I needed to know. Know what? That I'm pathetic, fell for the house owner I squatted in. Tears rolled down her face. Congrats. Now you know. Happy? Rose? No. She raised her hand. Don't say anything. Don't make this more humiliating. You don't get it. I read. Why? To laugh? To make sure I really leave? Mission accomplished. Because I feel the same. The words burst out. Rose froze. What? I feel the same. Robert stepped closer. I'm falling for you too. And it's driving me nuts 'cause it's been a week. A week? How does someone fall in a week? Don't know. Her voice a whisper. But I know when I wake, first thing I want is to see you. Know when Peter laughs. My heart does something weird. Know when Mary calls me Uncle Bob, I want to cry. Know the idea of you leaving is killing me more than the heart attack did. Rose cried openly now. Robert, this is crazy. I know, you barely know me. I know, I'm a widow with 2 kids, no money, nothing. I know, and I don't care. You should care, she nearly yelled. You're rich, successful, can have any woman. Why want someone like me? Because you make coffee how I like without asking. Because you care for a house that's not yours like it is. Because you're the strongest woman I've met. Because when I look at you, I can breathe for the first time in years. He held her hands. They were cold, trembling. Stay, he begged. Please stay. Rose closed her eyes. I can't. Why? Because I'm scared. She opened her eyes, fear raw and real. Scared to get attached and lose again. Scared I'm not enough. Scared you'll wake one day and see you made a mistake. I won't. You don't know that. Nobody does. She pulled her hands free. My husband promised to care for us forever, and next day he was dead. I can't go through that again. Rose, let me go, Robert. It's better this way for everyone. She left the room. Robert heard the front door slam. He stood, holding the emptiness she left. Mr. Martin found him an hour later, sitting on the backroom floor, head in hands. So you talked, and she's leaving anyway. The old man sat beside him with effort from age. She's scared, I know. You understand why. Robert lifted his head. Lost her husband, lost everything. Scared to lose again. So show her she won't lose. How? She won't listen. Mr. Martin smiled. Sometimes, boy, love ain't about words, it's about actions. When Rose returned with the kids, night had fallen. The house was dark, oddly dark. Robert? She called. No answer. She flipped the living room light and stopped. Table set, candles lit, flowers in the center, delicious smell from the kitchen. Robert appeared in a silly apron, holding a dish. "Welcome to Peace House Restaurant," he announced solemnly. "Table for 3, oops, 4, including me." Mary clapped. "So pretty." "Robert, dinner," he cut her off. "Your last dinner here. Let me do this, please." Rose couldn't say no. Dinner was chaotic. Food a bit burned, rice mushy, but love in every bite. When Mary dozed in her chair and Peter napped on Rose's lap, Robert finally spoke. "Can't promise I'll never die. No one can. But I can promise while I'm alive, I'll wake every day and choose you and the kids and this crazy life. Every day." Rose looked at him, tears in eyes. "How can you be so sure? Because for the first time, my heart's not just beating, it's alive." Rose didn't sleep all night, lay awake staring at ready suitcases, listening to kids breathing, thinking of Robert's words. "While I'm alive, I'll wake every day and choose you." But what if he didn't live? What if his heart failed again? What if... She shook her head, couldn't think that way, but couldn't stop. When sun rose, she decided, leaving, today, now, before losing nerve. Woke the kids quietly, dressed them, grabbed suitcases. The cab she called waited on the road. "Come on, loves, real quiet." "Without even saying bye to Uncle Bob?" Mary whispered. "Better this way." They were at the door when Robert appeared in the hallway, disheveled, still in pajamas. "You're sneaking out." Rose froze. Not sneaking, leaving as planned. At 6 a.m. No goodbye? Thought it'd be easier. For who? He came down the stairs. "For me, the kids, or you?" "Robert." "Mummy, I want to say bye." Mary started crying. "Honey, we can't." "Why not?" Robert knelt before the girl. "You can say bye to me, the house, Whiskers." "You're making this harder," Rose nearly yelled. "Good, 'cause it should be hard to leave. Should hurt, 'cause if it hurts it matters, and if it matters, we fight for it." Rose yelled back, tears falling. "Everything that matters, we lose. My husband mattered, I lost him. This house matters, I'll lose it. You matter, and I can't lose again." Silence, broken only by Mary's sobs. Robert stood slowly. "So you'd rather never live in fear than live for real? I have kids to protect. And you protect them by running? Teaching them to fear attachment, love. Teaching them to survive. Surviving ain't living." Rose gripped the suitcase handles tight. "I need to go." "Then go." Robert stepped back. "But first, look at your kids. Look at Peter, and tell me you're doing this for them, not fear." Rose looked at Mary crying with her doll, at Peter reaching arms to Robert, not understanding why no one held him. Her voice broke. "I can't. Mummy's scared," Mary said, wiping tears. "I'm scared too, but we can stay even scared, like during thunderstorms when we huddle together." Rose dropped to her knees, letting go of suitcases, hugging her daughter. Sobs came hard, years of pain, fear, loneliness pouring out. Robert approached slowly, hand on her shoulder. "Stay at least a day to think. No pressure, no promises, just stay." Rose couldn't answer, just nodded, still hugging her daughter. The day passed in tense, quiet. Rose stayed in the room. Robert watched the kids. Mary was subdued, no playing. Even Peter seemed to feel the sadness. At 3 p.m., Mary started coughing, dry, persistent. "Mary," Rose came out. "You okay?" "Just a cough, Mummy." But by 5, cough worsened. Mary hot, very hot. Rose panicked. "She's feverish, high." Robert touched the girl's forehead. "Burning," calling Henry. But Henry wasn't in the village, gone to the city. "Back tomorrow. Nearest hospital's an hour away," Mr. Martin said when Robert called. "But roads blocked, landslide last night. Take time to clear." "So what do I do?" "There's Mrs. Benedict, village midwife. Knows home remedies. I'll fetch her." While waiting, Mary got worse. Fever climbed. She started delirious, calling for her dead dad. "Daddy, Daddy, where are you?" Rose cried, helpless. "Do something, Robert, please." Trying. He put cool cloths on her forehead, but no help. "Where's Mrs. Benedict?" Mr. Martin returned with an elderly woman, but she shook her head, examining. "Pneumonia. Beginning. Needs antibiotics." "I have." Robert ran to his room, left from my hospital treatment. "No." Mrs. Benedict stopped him. Adult antibiotics different. Could harm her. Then what? Rose screamed desperate. Pray, the old woman said, and keep fever down. If it passes 104, she didn't finish, didn't need to. The night was the longest of Robert's life. He and Rose took turns with cool cloths, trying to lower Mary's fever. The girl faded in and out, mumbling nonsense. She'll be okay, Robert repeated. She'll be okay. You don't know that, Rose whispered, voice broken. You can't promise. But I'm promising. How you promise to choose us every day. She stared, eyes red. What if you can't? What if it stops? Robert cupped her face. Stop thinking worst. Mary'll be fine. Will be. I can't lose anyone else, Rose sobbed. Can't. You won't. I promise. You can't promise that. I can. He hugged her tight. 'Cause I'll do everything in my power not to let it. Everything. You hear? Everything. Rose clung to him, and for the first time since her husband died, she let someone hold her as she fell apart. At 4 a.m., fever finally broke. Mary opened eyes, weak but aware. Mummy, I'm here, love. Here. Rose covered her daughter's face in kisses. I had a dream, Mary murmured. Daddy came, said, it's okay. You can let Uncle Bob take care of us now. Rose looked at Robert, tears in his eyes. He did, she whispered. Said he's happy in heaven, wants us happy too. Mary fell asleep again, but real sleep, breathing steady, forehead cool. I almost lost her, but you didn't. What if I had? If fever didn't drop? But it did. He turned her face to him. It did. She's okay, you're okay. I'm okay. We're all here, alive, together. For how long? Don't know. No one does. But it's not about how long. It's about what we do with the time we have. Rose closed her eyes, tired of being scared. Then stop. Not that easy. I know, but you don't gotta do it alone. Not anymore. She was silent a long moment. Then, kiss me. Robert blinked. What? Kiss me before I lose nerve again? He smiled and kissed her gently, slowly, like she'd break. Rose deepened it, pouring years of loneliness, fear, lost hope into that moment. When they parted, she cried again, but different tears. I'm in love with you, she confessed. Hopelessly, madly in love. Good. Robert rested his forehead on hers. 'Cause I'm in love with you too. This is crazy. Yeah, we barely know each other. True. What if it goes wrong? What if it goes right? Rose laughed, tear-soaked. You're stubborn. You're fearful. We're quite a pair. We are, Mary mumbled in sleep. Stop talking. Trying to sleep. They laughed softly. So, Robert asked. Stay. Rose looked at sleeping Mary, Peter in his makeshift crib, the house become home. The man who'd invaded her heart like she'd invaded his house. Stay? Sure? No, she smiled, but staying anyway. When sun rose, Mr. Martin showed at the door with coffee and fresh bread. How's the girl? Better, much better, Robert said. And you too? The old man looked between them, noting linked hands. Sorted things? We did, Rose confirmed, blushing. Thank heavens. Mr. Martin laughed. Couldn't take another day of that tension. He set coffee on the table. Now tell me, when's the wedding? Mr. Martin, they said together. What? Just asking. Whole village'll want to know. Robert and Rose exchanged looks and burst out laughing. 3 days later, Mary was fully recovered, running the yard after Whiskers like nothing happened. Rose still watched close, but fear lessened. Not gone, maybe never fully, but now shared. Robert was on the porch when phone rang. Patricia. He hesitated, answered. Thought about what you said. Her voice different, less sharp. About selling my share. Found a buyer, international group, generous offer. But before closing, need your final answer. She paused. Coming back or not? Robert looked at the yard. Rose hanging laundry, laughing at something Mary said. Peter crawling grass, chasing a butterfly. Not coming back. Silence. Sure? 'Cause after no turning back, Robert, if I sell, I know, and sure. Because of her? Because of me, he corrected. Spent years building a company. Almost died alone in a cold office. Working for what? For who? Breathed deep. Don't want that life anymore. And the money, your assets? Throwing it away? Not throwing away. Investing different. Maybe start something here in the village, something small. Something lets me sleep nights and wake without chest pressure. He smiled. Something lets me live. Patricia sighed. You changed. I did. Hope you're happy, Robert, really. You too. Good luck with the sale. He hung up, felt weight lift off shoulders. Not fear, not regret, freedom. Rose came to the porch, wiping hands on apron. Okay? Great. He pulled her into a hug. That was Patricia. Selling the company. And you're good with it? Surprisingly good. She pulled back a bit, studying his face. Won't miss the company? The deals? Robert thought. Maybe sometimes, but not enough to go back. He cupped her face. I choose this. Choose you. Every day. Rose smiled, eyes shining. Every day. That's a long time. Still not enough. They kissed softly, slowly, interrupted by Mary yelling, Ew! Stop kissing. Come play. Dr. Henry showed the next afternoon for final check before full clearance. Pressure normal, beats perfect. You're better than pre-heart attack. He stowed the stethoscope. What you doing different? Living. Specifically, waking early, eating home-cooked, playing with kids, tending garden, laughing lots. Henry smiled. Keep it up, it's working. He patted Robert's shoulder. You scared me, friend. Thought I'd lose you. Me too. And now? Now I got reasons to stick around. They looked out the window. Rose, teaching Mary to plant seeds. Peter napping in shade, thumb in mouth. She's special, Henry commented. She is. When you gonna propose? Robert nearly choked. Marriage? We barely. It's only 2 weeks. The doctor laughed. You almost died. She lost her husband. You both know life's short. Why wait? Why? 'Cause it's too fast. For who? For others. Screw them. You love her? Love her. She love you? Think so. You think or know? Robert thought of kisses, late talks, how she looked at him when she thought he wasn't watching. I know. Then what's the hold-up? A sign from heaven? That night after kids slept, Robert took Rose to the porch. Fresh coffee, cake Mr. Martin brought, brightest stars he'd seen. Need to talk about something, he started. Rose tensed. That's never good. No, nothing bad. He held her hand. Opposite, I think. You think? I'm nervous. Cut me slack. She laughed. Okay. What? Robert breathed deep. No ring, no fancy plan. Just truth. No, it's early. No, we barely know each other. No, a million reasons to wait. Be sure, be sensible. He met her eyes. But I almost died. You lost who you loved. We know no time's guaranteed. So Robert, her voice shook. Let me finish, please. He laced fingers with hers. Don't want to wake without you anymore. Don't want a coffee alone. Don't want Mary calling me Uncle Bob. Want to be more. Want to be part of your family. For real. Tears started down Rose's face. Marry me. Silence. Just crickets and wind in trees. Robert, I know no ring, no romantic setup. Probably doing it all wrong. But I can't wait. I love you, Rose. Love you and the kids and this crazy life we built in 2 weeks. Want more. Years, decades if lucky. Want to wake with you complaining about my snoring. Teach Peter baseball. Watch Mary grow. Want it all. Rose cried hard now. Sure? Absolutely. Even me being stubborn, fearful, full of baggage. Especially cause of that. If I say yes and one day you regret, won't regret. You don't know. I do. He wiped her tears with his thumb. You're the best thing that ever invaded my life. Rose laughed through tears. Worst love declaration ever. It was awful, sorry. But it was perfect. She threw arms around him. Yes, yes, I'll marry you. Robert spun her, laughing, feeling lighter than in years. Serious, not changing mind. I'll change a bunch, probably, but always end up same place. She kissed him. Yes. News spread through the village like wildfire. Next morning, Mr. Martin showed with half the village. Wedding. We're having a wedding, Mr. Martin. Rose, mortified. We haven't set a date. Set it now. How about next week? Next week? Robert blinked. No time. Sure there is. Mrs. Carmen makes cake. Pastor comes Thursday. I lend the store hall. Done. Wedding. The old man beamed. Whole village wants to come. Been years since a party here. Rose looked at Robert, who looked back. They burst laughing. Okay, Rose agreed. Next week. Serious? Robert asked. Why wait? Why wait indeed? The week blurred by. Village mobilized. Mrs. Carmen made 3-tier cake. Mr. Martin decorated hall with garden flowers. Dr. Henry got Robert a borrowed suit. Village women sewed a simple but beautiful dress for Rose. Mary kept asking if she'd be flower girl. Peter learned to say Dada, looking at Robert, making Rose tear up. On Thursday, under perfect blue sky with half the village watching, Robert and Rose married. Not fancy. Cake melted a bit in heat. Pastor botched Robert's name twice. Peter cried mid-vows. Mary dropped flowers. It was perfect. 6 months later, Robert woke to coffee and pancakes smell. Went downstairs, found Rose humming while cooking, Peter in high chair eating mashed banana, Mary drawing at table. Morning, family. He kissed Rose, ruffled Mary's hair, made faces at Peter. Mail for you. Rose pointed to envelope on table from lawyer. Robert opened. Company sale finalized. Money transferred. Officially free. So? Rose asked. How you feel? Rich and jobless. She laughed. You ain't jobless. Managing garden, fixing house, minding kids, and loving every second. He pulled her into hug. Thanks. For what? Invading my house, life, heart. Was accidental. Was on purpose. Maybe. She smiled. No regrets. None. You? Only not invading sooner. They kissed, interrupted by Mary. Again? You guys are gross. Gross is your sister's room, Robert teased. I don't have a sister, not yet. Rose put hand on her growing belly. But in 7 months, Robert stared, mouth open. You're pregnant? Surprise. He lifted and spun her, laughing, crying, feeling his heart that almost stopped beating strong and alive in his chest. I love you, he said. Love you so much. Love you too. And there in that simple kitchen, with coffee burning on stove, kid crying, cat stealing table food, sun streaming through window, Robert realized he'd found something no money could buy. He'd found home, and home had found him. Your interactions mean a lot to us. Leave your name in the comments, and we might include you in one of our stories with a special shout-out just for you.